Rumors are continuing about a second Kendrick album after GNX, and while I've already talked about this, there are quite some more hints and quite some more theories as to the reasons why Kendrick could be dropping a second album, maybe December 12th, so in only 2 weeks. But today, we're gonna go over all of that, so let's jump straight into this.
If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description.
Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So Kendrick obviously dropped GNX about 2 weeks ago at this point. It sold over 300,000 in its first week, which is crazy for a surprise album, and is his fifth #1 album consecutively, just because he doesn't drop a lot of albums, but still it's a huge success for Kendrick and just commercially really big. Also, in yesterday's video, we talked about him possibly not performing at the Super Bowl, but I do hope so because this once again proves that it's just his year, 2024. Anyway, we're talking about a second album, so this is really something of interest to the fans. We already went over some of the theories and reasons why this could be in the last video. I want to give you all a quick recap before we take a look at the new reasons that we've gotten ever since the album's dropped. So first of all, a lot of people noticed that it had a short runtime, so it wasn't a very long album. And also it felt more like a mixtape because there wasn't an underlying narrative, there wasn't some sort of big thematical societal issue being discussed. It felt like a mixtape from K-Dot, a very good mixtape, but still not of album quality. And that is what some people pointed out, and that maybe he made this in a short amount of time, and that the actual big album that he's been working on ever since 2022, ever since Mr. Morale, that we know he's been working on since then, will still be coming. We also had that one trailer for the album, for GNX, which actually featured a song that didn't appear on the final record. So this once again gave people the reason to believe that something more was coming, because he actively showed us music that he then didn't include on the record. What hint could be more obvious? Of course, not a guarantee, but still something. Also, for example, in the only music video he's dropped so far for the project, Squabble Up, we had a lot of references, but for example, he also displayed Nate Dogg's double album, so that gave more fans the reason to believe that there is also references to double albums being made and that he would himself have a double album. Also, we had the reports that Mustard only started working with Kendrick ever since Not Like Us, ever since he sent him a lot of those beats that then became Not Like Us. But if Kendrick has been working on a record since 2022, so for 2.5 years, why would a lot of these beats be from Mustard if they only started working together half a year ago? So that was another hint that maybe this album has only been done in the past couple of weeks or months. So those were the reasons why we so far believe that Kendrick could be dropping a second album, but there are obviously more than that, which you're going to take a look at now. But I do want to know, from those reasons so far, could you actually see Kendrick dropping a second album, or are you not buying that? So let's take a look at what we've now also gotten. So we have gotten word, this was actually right after the album dropped, that the beat for Whacked Out Murals got sent to Kendrick only 2 days before November 22nd, so before the release of the album. As you can see from Rascal the producer, Kendrick apparently texted him, "I wanted some Ignorant West shit, but let the drums have space. I'm about to hit the studio now." And then he sent him the beat, apparently for Whacked Out Murals. And this only makes sense since Kendrick is addressing things like Lil Wayne being upset about not performing at the Super Bowl in February that we talked about yesterday. So this wouldn't have been possible if he made the album 2 years ago, because that is a situation that started in September, I believe, right after we got the announcement that Kendrick would be performing at the Super Bowl, middle of September, I think 13th, it was the 13th. So, that is one of the reasons why people think, okay, this album was actually made in a short amount of time, in combination with the other hints we've gotten towards that fact as well. Anyway, we also had Lefty Gunplay, who's obviously featured on GNX, be on the Bootleg Kev podcast and kind of talk about or kind of slip up and say that there is a deluxe coming. We obviously don't know if this is an intentional slip up, if they wanted to promote it this way, but he says that there is a deluxe coming, and he's a guy that's obviously featured on the album, so he would maybe know. So that is another reason why people think that this album is still coming. Another reason is also that most of the features on there are smaller West Coast artists, which is beautiful, like Kendrick is showing love to the place he's from. But people would think that the big album he's been working on for over 2 years would have bigger features, and that maybe he just got these features to come together in a very short amount of time to then account for the album. So that is another reason. Now, also we've gotten some tweets from, for example, Hida J3, who's obviously also on the record on the track GNX and a close friend of Kendrick's, and also from Daylight, for example, who's been, for some reason, he's been, in discussion about having a track with Kendrick and dropping this date of December 12th, and Hida J3 said it's not over yet, get ready for curfew. So this could also be a hint that something is coming again, something is coming, kind of like as a second, that's coming back as a second one, a second album. So that's something else that people also picked up on. And there are crazy conspiracy theories. I don't want to go into them as much, but y'all shared a couple of those on the Discord, which, by the way, if you're not a part of the Discord yet, make sure to join with the link in the description. Best hip hop community on this planet, and source for a bunch of more material if you want first-hand sources and not just me talking about it. So join the Discord. Anyway, y'all posted some reels or TikToks about theories, and we have this one theory, for example, where if you kind of take the runtime, the 44 minutes and 22 seconds, or you multiply them, it accounts for the amount of money, $2,000 something that back in 1987 you would need to pay to upgrade your GNX to a Grand National. And you could only do this once a year from December 12th to 14th. So people are saying this could be a reason that Kendrick is now dropping. He's upgrading his GNX, his album, not his Buick, not his car, to the Grand National, which is then the big album. The Grand National also may be being the Super Bowl. So there is this, it's a bunch of theories you can make, comments on. I don't want to go into them as much here because they are just theories, but there are some of them that I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, it's Kendrick. There's always something behind it when there's Kendrick, when there's Easter eggs, when there's, different stuff with numbers, with connecting things. So that's another reason. Now, those are the main reasons that people now also think, in combination with the ones that we already discussed, that Kendrick could be dropping a second album. Now, I want to know what y'all think about this. One more thing that I wanted to give y'all guys is a tweet or a story from Baby Keem, who hinted at his new album also coming soon. Because, NFR Podcast reported Baby Keem's producer, Scott Bridgeway, produced 3 songs on Kendrick Lamar's GNX, and he then reposted this and said, "We on the way to," maybe referring to him and the producer, or PG Lang, him and Kendrick. We don't know. I just wanted to give y'all that just so we can have something to look forward to. But let me know what y'all think about all of the reasons that I went over today, why Kendrick Lamar could be dropping a second album after GNX. I'm still spinning GNX. It's an amazing record. I would be happy if he retired now. This album is great. So I don't want to be, kind of ungrateful for the music, because I love it. I'm very grateful for it. It's just something that I saw that I wanted to share with y'all guys. Let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments down below.
If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.